Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be taking a look at how you can program a flight plan into the KLN-90, which is a nice little freeware add-on for many different aircraft, including our lovely black square Duke here. Let's get started. So we've already taken a look at the KLN-90 in a pretty good amount of detail before, but now it's going to be time to actually punch in a useful flight plan for the purposes of, kind of getting around in a way that's more than just kind of doing our normal sort of routine, so to speak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my good old friend Sky Vector here and kind of play this a quick plan. We're currently down here at Block Island, and what I would like to do is I'd like to go up to KSNC, and then I'd like to, of course, bring ourselves up to a KHFD here. KSNC. I can't type sometimes. That looks like a pretty good flight plan to me. It looks pretty good. I like that. We've got that nice little spot in the middle to make things a little bit more interesting. And you know what? Let's make it a little more interesting for us. Let's actually throw Lomas in there, too. Lomas, of course, is the final approach fix if you're trying to do an instrument approach into Hartford there. So that looks like a pretty good combination. So let's head over here. And now the first thing we need to do, of course, is we've gotten everything all booted up and warmed up and ready to go, is I'm going to be using the large knob here until I hit to the FPL page. And the FPL page is a little tricky because there's actually multiple flight plan pages, and you can actually dial in individual flight plans. So what I actually like to do is leave this flight plan alone and instead go to flight plan 1 and then program it. So watch this. So I'm going to go into here and I'm going to go ahead and dial in my waypoints here. Again, it's the same style as you're probably used to from before. One thing you can do, by the way, is if you click right here, you can switch to keyboard mode. So we can make this real easy. So I can type in KNSCA. I'll go ahead and type in keyboard mode off again. I can just press the enter key. Go ahead and shut that sucker off. Cursor looks pretty good to me. See, I can go here. KSNC. That looks pretty good to me. I'm going to press the enter key. I'm going to press enter one more time. And then from KSNC, we're going to be going direct to Lomas. So I'm just going to type in Lomas. I'm going to press the enter key again. It's going to say you're referring to the intersection. The intersection sounds good to me. Then I'm going to use the big knob or the small knob, actually the big knob here, to go to our next waypoint. Ooh, we'll get out of keyboard mode real fast here. There we go. I just had to press the enter key. I was being dumb. And we'll go ahead and type in KHFD, which sounds pretty good to me. Press enter. Referring to Hartford sounds pretty good to me. If I press enter again, it'll give me waypoint 4. Not really interested. So I'm going to press cursor, and it's going to go ahead and flip that. So now this is the tricky part. And one of the things I want to do now is you see where it says use and invert. Invert allows us to flip the flight plan. Use allows us to select the flight plan. So again, I'm going to press cursor, and I'm going to go use again big knobs here. Again, we can play with some of the different buttons. One of the cool things is come in here and press enter. You can actually dial a thing in from the previous place. That's a terrible mistake. I've done that one about 1,000 times. If that happens to you, you actually have a clear button. You can press clear and you can actually change your mind on something. If that does happen though, again, I'm going to press clear. I'm going to go down to CYUL. I don't want that anymore. I can go ahead and press this one and we can go ahead and delete it if it's a waypoint that I don't want to use. Goodbye. And now you can see it's been deleted and we're basically ready to rock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up to where it says use and invert. I'm going to go ahead and press the, you can use this one real quickly here. Go ahead and use the, I do this every time. So we're going to go up to the use, not the invert option, and press enter. So as soon as I do that, what that will do is that'll take my flight plan 1, it'll slam it into flight plan 0. Now you're sitting here going, we're ready to do some flying. I can't wait. Let's go to my navigation page and see how we're looking here. So you go to the navigation page, you come over here, you're a pro at this, so you come over here, you go to the navigation page. It's looking pretty groovy, and what's going on here? Something seems to be wrong. It says flag. So you come over here and say, I probably goofed something else up. I'm MSG. It's going to tell me I've got a position error. You just sit here and start fiddling with this. You go to page 5 of the navigation. You go to over this one. Be careful what button you push when you play with this one. Come on. Take me back to our nav page, please. Go to nav. You start changing the page on this one, trying to figure out what's going on. And you're like, what's going on? Where's my data? I can't see it. What's going on? The problem here is you've set up your flight plan, but you haven't described how to get to your first waypoint. So what I'm going to do is head over to my KLN knob one more time, go over to the flight plan page. I'm going to go ahead and press my cursor button, select KSNC, and then I'm going to press the direct button. It's going to say, are you sure? Yeah, I am. I'm going to press the enter button, and now what you'll observe is over here on the right, SNC will now be my next selected destination. Pretty cool, huh? So now what I have here is I have my flight plan on my left, and I have my handy-dandy little navigation display on this side. I'm going to shut the cursor off real fast. I'm going to go back to my navigation page. One of the reasons I love this thing so much, be careful, by the way, that you don't accidentally pull in on the scan button. Now that's going to mess you up, is we actually can see our entire flight plan in its entirety. You can see where I'm currently facing right now. You can see my destination, and of course, if we wanted to adjust this a little bit, we go to cursor here, and you can come down here. You have a couple different options here as far as this goes. But for me, I'm going to press cursor on this side and crank this up to 60. But you can actually see my little flight plan here. You can see I've taken us over to SNC. You can see Lomas, and of course you can see Hartford that's chilling there, ready to rock for us, giving you an idea of how handy this is. Now, if this is bothering you for some reason, one of the cool things we can actually do is we can go to cursor here, and you can actually change, whoa, be careful doing that. You can actually come down here and you can set this to be north facing. You can set a desired track. You can do heading, which is the correct, the way God intended it, kind of a thing like that. And that basically gives you that option now. So let's go head over to the airport real quick and get airborne. All right. So now one of the big problems people forget is you take all this time to get this all nice and programmed and ready to go on my KLN-90 there. And the thing you kind of forget, whoa, ignore that. Haha, I like Flight Microsoft. It's a goofy thing. One of the interesting things here is it's not showing up in our HSI. The reason it's not showing up as in our HSI is two things. First of all, you got to make sure that the nav GPS switch is set. Second of all, you actually got to put it on GPS mode. Now that we're in GPS mode, and let me go ahead and adjust my unusual attitude that I'm putting myself into here, is I'm going to go ahead and kind of swing this way, and now we actually are able to have the automatic pilot kind of do some of the work for us. We have a couple quick taps of up trim there. Looks pretty good to me. Let's go ahead and slap that on. Let's go switch to nav mode. We're going to do attitude. Actually, I don't want altitude hold. That's perfectly fine. We actually did set an altitude 2 hold, so I'm not going to worry about that too hard here. And now what you're seeing here is the automatic pilot is actually using the KLN-90 for the purposes of actually guiding itself to our given destination. And it's doing a nice aggressive turn there, and you can see it's got itself all locked on. It's actually pretty cool. Like, even though this is a really old school unit, it does work, and it actually works really, really well. And you can see just how simple it is to set up your little flight plan. And of course, we just got to fly it. Enjoy.